Hello everybody and welcome back to Atris Studios. Today I thought that we should revisit the camera script for our 2D platformer. Now with our camera script previously, let's go ahead and hit play real fast so we can see what's going on. With our previous camera, we were able to move our camera from left to right and have a minimum and maximum distance that we can move. This would allow us to be able to move around inside of our level without too many issues, right? So what we're going to do today is, instead of having us locked to one specific room inside of the environment, we're going to make it to where we're able to actually go into different rooms. So I know it's probably going to be lagging on the recording, but yeah. So we're going to run over here, and basically if I press E right now, we're going to transport ourselves to a different area, similar to how we developed the door script. I believe we did that before. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, similar to how we have the door script, to where we can move within the level. What we're going to do instead is we're going to make it to where if we walk over here, we're going to add a door right here, and this door will allow us to move to a different area. This way, it gives us the opportunity to be able to have multiple rooms inside of the same level without having to change anything. So our AI will still be able to move around and do whatever they need to do. Without further ado, let's get started with that. Now, the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you do have the scripts from the previous tutorials. Now, this is the 2D platformer tutorial, so keep in mind that that's what we're going to be using here. What you're going to do is go over to your controllers and find your camera controller script. I'm going to go ahead and open that inside of my Visual Studios, because if I try to open it from Unity, it likes to open up a brand new Visual Studios and takes literally forever to load up. Granted, that's sort of my fault, because I like to have like thousands of applications to open at the same time. I know, it's a terrible, terrible thing. Okay, as you can see, we have our private vectors for X min max and Y min max, as well as our float for our speed of our camera. But what we want to do here is we need to be able to set it up to where if we want our camera zoomed in certain rooms and zoomed out in certain rooms, so widths and heights of each room is different. So we want to be able to take that into account. So what we're going to do is we're going to just simply yoink this out of here. No, okay, yeah, we're not going to. That's terrible. All right, we're going to come down here and we're going to create a brand new class. So we're going to create this as a public class, and we're going to call this camera. Actually, we'll just call this a room, right? So room. And inside this room, all we want to do is have a couple of variables that we can plug in. So we want, of course, a X min max. So we're going to create a serialized, of course, so serialized private vector 2, and this is going to be our X min max. Same thing as before. We're going to just copy this. We probably could have just copied the other one as well, but whatever, you know, it's all cool. So these are going to be at default a vector 2.0. We don't have to set that right now because it will automatically set it for us. The next thing we need to do is we need to set up a distance, so a zoom distance. We're going to do this right here at the top, and we're going to serialize this field right here, go as a private. We could do a float, but I'm going to do an integer instead. I feel like those are better. And this is going to be called our zoom distance. Now, with the zoom distance, especially with orthographic cameras, you're not actually adjusting the Z value, because that doesn't change the distance of your zoom. You have to change the actual camera's orthographic size. So if you're at 2, 5, whatever, it's going to change it like that. Okay, so this should work here, but we also need to make sure that we go system.serialize this sucker as well. That way we can use it. And then we're going to come up here, and these variables now we can make it just flat out private. We don't need to visually see these because they are going to be what's the word I'm looking for? They're basically going to be variables we're going to adjust as we move along. So for each room, we're going to just change that value to that room's value. All right. And we also need a room ID, so the room name, I guess you could say. Now the question is, do we want to call this by the room name, or do we want to call this by the room ID? This way, if we really wanted to, we could call it either or, right? So if we wanted to move to the living room, we could just say, okay, plug in the string value of living room, and then we could do that. Or we could go with an ID and just say 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. You know what? We're going to go with a string. So I'm going to just serialize this field as well. And we're going to go as a private string. And we're going to call this name. And we'll have to do as an underscore name because name inside of Unity has a value, or a default value, and we don't want to adjust that value. Okay, so that should work there. So now since we have that done, we're going to come up here and we're going to create a public room. And for this, we're going to set this up as an array. This way we can adjust the values ourselves, but we're not really going to have to add or remove anything from script. So we're going to do rooms, and we're going to call these as rooms. Yeah. So I'm going to hit Control S. We're going to head back over into Unity, and we're going to go see what we got going on. So yeah, let's do this. Now, the ideal behind this is whenever we switch a room, we'll be able to adjust like a lot of variables in a very short amount of time. So it should be fun. It should be fun. Trust me. Okay, so I'm going to select our main camera. We should have the script already on the main camera. And if you can't see it right now, that's because I have my webcam in the way. We're going to go ahead and open up this room list, and let's just give us 2 rooms for now. This is going to be called the bedroom, so we're going to call this the bedroom. Or actually, let's call it house. Yeah, let's do the house. And for the zoom distance, let me actually take a look at our player's camera. So right now our size is at 5. So if I set our size at 2 and I press game view, and let me actually go and hide that fade window real fast. Yeah, like so. So if I select our main camera and I put us at 2, as you can see, we're really close to the character. If I change it to 1, then we're extremely close. And I sort of feel like maybe 1 would be better for the bedroom. Maybe, no, 2. 2 should be good for the bedroom. So we're going to do 2 for the bedroom. Or the house. I keep saying bedroom. No, my bad. So we're going to do 2 for the house. This is just like a demonstration, you know. It is a demonstration. And then we're going to call this streets. Okay, so we got the streets now. And we're going to do the zoom distance of 5 for the streets. So let's go ahead and... let's see, where was I? Oh, right here. So we're going to go ahead and set that to 5, or back to 5. Okay, so with these distances now, we just need to set our variables for this area, and we also need to set up the area for our room. So I'm going to go, where do we want to put our room? Technically, I want a room over here, but I could put a room over here. I mean, it really doesn't matter. You know, we're going to put a room down here. Yeah, that should work. So I'm actually going to take this. I'm going to press T and adjust this up a little bit, like so. And let's see, so the height of this is a 9 points, whatever. So Control C, Control V, boom. All right. So we're going to put our bedroom inside of here. So let's grab our door. Actually, let's just grab this door. Control D, W, and drag it over here. Okay. So this right here is going to bring us to our new area. I haven't set up that script yet, but that's okay. Let's come over here, and we're going to set up the room environment. So I'm going to just grab this, Control D, just drag it over like so. We're going to drop down the heights, maybe make this room like a 10 wide room. So something like that. Just drag it over like so. Cannot see. There we go. Okay, so we'll just drag it over like that. So 50. Why is that? Okay, you know what? 43. How about that? 42. 42.5. Why is that just so weird, man? You know what? I don't care. I don't care. We'll just scale it out a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we're going to just duplicate that one, pull that over, and then give ourselves a roof of some sort. We could just copy this one, Control D, and drag that up like so. This should work. Yeah, something like this should work. Let's go ahead and duplicate this door right here and drag it over here like so. And now we have a room. Yay, awesome. So let's grab our camera now, like so. Actually, we just need this right here. There we go. And we want to simply adjust the position of the camera. Now you can see a display of the camera's position right here. I want to be able to move this camera over to its minimum X position, and it looks like negative 12.5 is the minimum we want for the street. So we're going to do negative 12.5 here. And then we're going to drag this over, and we want the maximum to be a 32.5. Okay, nice. So 32.5. Now our current Y position is a 0.25. So we're going to put our 0.25 as our max height, not our min height, because our min height is going down. And our min height needs to be a negative 8.75. So negative 8.75. All right, so we now have the street set up. Let's go ahead and bring this over here. Now, the thing about the room is that we're going to be at a smaller orthographic viewpoint. So we need to go over to our camera, change it down to the size that we want it to be, and then we're going to start setting up the stuff. So drag this down, drag this over. So our minimum, our minimum position is 47.75. So 47.75. And then we're going to drag over, and our maximum would be 52.5. So 52.5. Then we're going to do the height. So our minimum is a negative 11.25. So negative 11.25. And our maximum would be a negative 9. So negative 9. As you can see, we now have these variables set up individually per room. And you could do this as many times as you want. So if you have a bedroom, a bathroom, a kitchen, you can do that, and you will be able to change it every single time. So it's pretty awesome. All right, let's go ahead and reset the camera position. I probably need to have something to where I can automatically do that, but whatever. You know, it's no biggie, man. It's no biggie. So let's just drag that up like so, and yeah, that should work. Okay, so we now have these two rooms set up, but how do we make it actually change, like whenever we enter a room? So this is pretty simple. We're going to come up here, and we're going to make a singleton value. So hashtag region and singleton. Now inside the singleton, just like we did with the player controller and the game manager script, we're going to do the same thing with the camera script, because there's only supposed to be one camera. So we're going to do a public static camera controller, and we're going to call this instance like so. Then we're going to say void awake instance is equal to this. So anytime that we call this camera controller, it will automatically make sure that this is the one that we're talking about, and we can call it anywhere inside of the script and adjust things. The next thing we need to do is come over here inside of the mono behavior side of things, and we're going to create a public change room. And with this, we're going to just put in a string called room name, like so. Now, like I said, you could also change this to an ID instead and use an integer, which will allow you to be able to change as 1 or 2 or whatever, and make it a lot easier to actually change the room. I personally just like using the actual names because it makes it easier for my brain to process. So, all right. So, what am I doing? Look at this. Look at this, guys. I forgot to put the void inside there. Wow, I'm out of it today. Wow. Okay. So we now have this public void set up, but we need to be able to now distinguish which room we're going into. So we're going to do this. We're going to say if rooms, or if room name is equal to, I mean, technically we could do a for each loop here. Yeah, we could probably do a for each loop. So, or not a for each, but for loop. So we'll do a for loop, and then we're going to do rooms dot length. How about that? And then we're going to say if rooms I dot name, or rooms I, yeah, that gets that, and then we're going to get the underscore name, so underscore name. Ooh, and I just realized we're gonna probably have to make these public. Yeah, we're gonna have to make these public, because we're not gonna be able to call them outside of this class. So we're gonna just do this, public and public. Delete that, delete that, delete that. All right, so rooms I dot name, there it is equal to room name. So let's check this. Yeah, room name. Then we're going to set the values. And we also want to add a break inside here as well because, yeah, we don't want it to continue. Actually, it doesn't really matter if it continues, but whatever. So here we're going to set the values. So as you can see up here, we have our x min-max and our y min-max. So we're just going to set those values. We're going to say x min-max is equal to our rooms I dot x min-max. And we're going to do the same thing with the y. So y min-max is equal to rooms, no, not the capital rooms, but the lowercase rooms, I dot y min-max. We also want to set up the camera zoom system as well, so our orthographic view. So for that, it's very simple because the camera has this this public static, which allows us to be able to access it if we call its main value. So if it's tagged as main camera, then we're going to be able to do this. So we're going to come over here and we're going to say camera dot main dot orthographic size is equal to our room name. So we're going to, or not room name, but our room zoom. So zoom distance. There we go. Oh, I accidentally deleted that. That's not good. Public int called zoom distance. There we go. Whew, that was close. Okay. And then we're going to just plug in zoom distance like so. So rooms I dot zoom distance. All right, so now since that is able to be called and run, we could add a break inside there. I'm not going to do it for now. It's not really going to do much. So we're going to need to call this, and we're going to call this inside of the door script. So when we enter a door, we need a target room. So we have a target door here, which is something that I put inside here a little while ago, actually. It was probably yesterday that I did that. But what I want to do is I want to put a public string, right? We're going to call this target room. So whenever we move into this area, it's going to move us to that room. And let's go ahead and come over here to our else statement. So if you weren't following along inside the previous tutorial, and I didn't add this to the previous tutorial, all I was doing is I just simply asked if we were going to be exiting the level and going into a new scene, or if we were entering a current area inside of the environment. And if we were, then we're just going to transport ourselves to that position. Otherwise, we're going to actually load a new level. That's all that is. If you guys haven't done that, let me know inside the comments, and I'll try to get back to you on that. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. So we're going to grab our camera controller script only on the part where we're moving within the level. So this is out of the level, this is in the level. We're going to make sure that we have the enter door action happen. Then we're going to change our view. So we're going to grab our camera. So camera controller dot instance. Remember that singleton that we created earlier. And we're going to say dot change room. Now the room that we're moving is our target room. And as I said earlier, if it's an ID, just use an ID instead. Okay, so we have this set up. Everything should work the way that we want it to. So let's go ahead and head back over into Unity. Now, keep in mind, if you start inside of this room and you don't have it set up to actually move you into that room, then you may have some issues there. So whenever you have a void start function, make sure that you set the change room to the start room that you're in. Say, for instance, I'm inside the street, so my void start should say change room and set it to streets. That way, it will automatically set all of your settings where it needs to be. Otherwise, you're going to run into some complications, and it's going to be fun and exciting, and you're going to pull a Nature Studio sort of thing going on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you probably know what I'm saying. All right, so once Unity decides to compile, because she likes to take her time, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our work. Now, since we're already inside the street, we already have the settings set up for us to be inside the streets. I am not too worried about that. So I'm going to select this right here. This is the door that leads to this door down here. So I'm going to simply say streets. And let me make sure I am spelling that right. Streets, cool. And then we're going to grab, make sure that I put that there. So streets, yes, nice. We're going to grab this one, and target room is streets, like so. Then for this one right here, our door, our target door, is going to be this door right here. That's where we're going to be moving to. And we're going to call this the house. Then we're going to grab this door. Did I grab the wrong door? 2 goes to 3, and 3 goes to 2. There we go. And we're going to put this as streets. So streets, like so. So now we're going to press play, and hopefully everything works great. Okay, so there was a slight issue. So whenever we started, we didn't set our vectors for our positions. So in other words, our y min max and our x min max were exactly identical, and I didn't think about that. I mean, I did, but I didn't really think that it would make a difference. So we're going to make sure that we do change room to a starting room. So we actually need to come up here to the top, do a public string called starting room. And actually we could probably make this a private string and then just serialize it like so. Serialize like that. Okay, so then we're going to just put in our starting room like so. Hit Control S and then head back over into Unity. Okay, so we need to set up the starting room real fast. So we're going to call this the streets, like so. Hit Control S, hit play, and hopefully Unity loads up like a good girl, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Alright, so we are back in. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to run over here. As you can see, everything is running pretty good. I mean, there's probably a little lag spike because I'm recording and all. But if I press E now, we can go in between these two streets and nothing changes. But let's run over here real fast. So we're going to run over to this spot right here. And now if I press E, then we move into this area. And as you can see, we have zoomed in like so, and if I press E, we come back out. Now there is a slight issue with this transition because we can visibly see that transition, so we can adjust this because we're not having that fade in and out, and the reason why is because I forgot to re-enable that. But once that's re-enabled, we should be able to just run with it, and we could have a really nice transition inside there without too much of a hassle. But that's pretty much it when it comes down to you having that transition, which is really awesome. So yeah. Alright, if you guys enjoyed this tutorial, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, check out some other videos. If you have any questions, make sure you leave those inside the comments section below. I'll be happy to answer those questions. If you have any ideas for new tutorials or things that you want inside your game that you're not really sure on how to get about doing, then go ahead and fill that out inside the comment section below, and I'll be happy to get to that as soon as possible. But yeah, so I guess I'll see you guys next time. Later.